just got done watching Big George Foreman on the big screen, and I have some things that I want to talk about for this film, guys. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the review. Let's go. What's going on, you guys? The Demigod back on Demigod and to bring you another movie review for Big George Foreman, the miraculous story of the once and future heavyweight champion of the world, the newest biographical film to hit theaters, directed by George Tillman Jr., starring Kris as George Foreman, who gets to play this character through so many different stages of his life, from when he was a fit young man in the best shape of his life to when he's this older boxer, this middle-aged man, and he manages to do a great job playing every single era of George Foreman. And with that being said, let's go ahead and discuss the plot of this film. So, from Olympic gold medalist to world heavyweight champion, boxer George Foreman leads a remarkable life. He finds his faith, retires, and becomes a preacher. When financial hardship hits his family and church, George steps back in the ring and regains the championship at age 45, becoming the oldest heavyweight champion in boxing history. Now, that's obviously a very legendary life, so this movie takes us on quite the journey. We get to watch George Foreman from when he's a child, starving at home with his family, growing up in the South, to a troubled young man who joins the Job Corps and discovers Forrest Whitaker's character, who ends up becoming the coach of George Foreman and the man who introduces him and teaches him how to box in the first place, which, by the way, Forrest Whitaker and really the entire cast did a fantastic job inside of here. Forrest Whitaker as the coach, he's believable. He seems like he cares about George Foreman and his future as a champ. You could really feel the relationship between these two characters inside of this film, and the trust that he has for his coach to lead him into greatness. Now, of course, he ends up also becoming a father figure for this character, since George Foreman's father wasn't around at the time, and really gives him the guidance that he needs as a young man and helps him reach success in becoming the world heavyweight champion. Now, a problem that I had with this film, and particularly this part of the movie, was that it doesn't play out enough. We don't get to see enough of George's journey when he makes that first pro debut in boxing to when he becomes the world heavyweight champion. And this movie ends up suffering from what a lot of biographical films suffer from, which is it ends up feeling like a highlight reel where you're watching big moment in his life to big moment in his life over and over again. And while certain moments we get to see play out and we get to savor the moment, other moments feel like we just jumped right over them and like things, you know, just happened with the snap of a finger. And I would have liked some more screen time for these scenes to play out. I would have liked a few more scenes included in here along the way so you could really capture the emotion, because him becoming the world heavyweight champion of the world is a major event in his life. So I think we needed a little more time with that journey there during his first title run. Now, I get why we didn't get that, because this film comes in about 2 hours on the runtime, which again, I feel like it could have used an extra 15 to 30 minutes inside of here, but that's probably the main reason certain moments end up coming across that way. And now, another thing that this film does well is it makes sure to show you that George Foreman is a human being. You know, he's not this mythical figure. You see him go through struggles in life. You see him go on this spiritual journey throughout this entire film where he has a real hard time believing in God. He never fully really knows if it's a thing. I would say he's a bit agnostic as a character, even after winning the heavyweight championship. And it isn't until Muhammad Ali's character is introduced, played by Sullivan, who, by the way, I got to check this film out with in theaters. I got to see this film with Sullivan himself, who does a fantastic job as Muhammad Ali inside of this film. He really embodies the character and all of Ali's mannerisms, because it's really not an easy character to play. You know, he was a very unique guy, obviously one of the greatest boxers of all time, if not the greatest boxer of all time. I know a lot of people consider Ali that. So this is a very big role he gets to do here. He gets to play a lot of iconic moments inside of here, such as the rope-a-dope, such as Ali being the first one to defeat George Foreman to become the heavyweight champion of the world in Ali's storyline. And you also get the banter, the one-liners inside of here, the fun moments with Ali, while also seeing them form a relationship after that, because if you didn't know, Foreman and Ali did end up becoming great friends down the line after their boxing history together, and I liked seeing that inside of this film too. And then, of course, after losing his title, he gets more in tune with his faith, with his spirituality. He finds Christ, which influences him to completely change his life around, to get a new wife, to open a church, become a preacher, open a community center for the kids. That was all great to see inside of here, but of course, he ends up falling on hard times, which leads him back into boxing, and you watch him grind from the very bottom again because he didn't jump straight back to the top in boxing. He started from the very bottom, had to build his way back up, and by the end of this film you're left with an amazing story played by a fantastic cast and really leaves you with a sense of motivation, inspiration, and I liked all of that from this film, man. So with that being said, let's go ahead and drop the official rating for Big George Foreman. I'm gonna go ahead and give this film a 8.5 out of 10. It gets the 8.5 out of 10. A very solid movie. I do recommend you go check this out at the theaters. You support this at the box office and form your own opinion about it. But with that being said, guys, those are my thoughts on this movie. Again, I think it could have used a little bit more scenes to really flesh out what was going on here. But other than that, I didn't have too many problems with the film. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section down below. If you don't know why you're on Demigod, you need to do commentaries, reactions, or reviews. If you're just that in the right place, man, hit subscribe, hit the like button. I drop multiple videos a week on the channel, so you can expect out of me. And if you don't already know, I am the Demigod, the chosen one here on Demigod ENT, and I'm out of this thing, man. I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.